No, we should
Who's
be.
to know? It's all magic to me.
No, we should be. I'm guessing my Stream Deck button is a little kaput, but it does seem to now be working.
Mr. Sexy Rexy is here too. Can we get a Sexy Rexy gif? Nope, searching for Sexy Rexy does not bring up what I think it does in the gifs.
I wouldn't, personally. I wouldn't go there.
Here we go. There we go. That'll do.
Who makes these things?
Rex hates push up. I love that, Junkie. Brilliant. Oh, okay. That is a Rex that needs a diet. Or it was in
I'm
an episode
actually
of Star
trying to
Trek,
work
the original
out
series.
whether that is his back leg or whether he's just been eating too many. Yeah.
We've nearly filled up my left-hand navigation. We just need a few more people. It's a very cute puppy, Theo. It's not really a puppy, is it?
Tea ran out.
I made one just before I arrived.
I made one about 10 minutes ago and it lasted about 2. It's all that salt water. That's what it is.
I was going to say, at least you got plenty of water. Oh, 4 minutes over. Let's have a look.
We have lots and lots now. And hello, TBK Dogside. Somebody actually said hello in the chat on YouTube.
Hello, YouTube chat.
Shall we give it a whirl then? We're good.
Yeah, let's crack on.
Okay, let's do that then. Welcome to Roundtable 101 then.
Oh.
What are you going to say? Go on.
I was going to say, I don't have any specific plans for this evening, so we might as well do this.
Well, I kind of do, so I'd like to not do another 2-hour one, but yeah.
Yeah.
So, again, welcome to Roundtable 101. As usual, you get to catch up the WNG team, and you get to find out what we have planned for the coming week or weeks, and recap on what we did last week or didn't do last week. And thank you again to everybody spending a little bit of your Tuesday evening with us. Thank you, Fred, and hello. This is not going to go well, is it? Weekly maintenance is at 9 a.m. tomorrow, as usual. We have a couple of things to go in. I don't think it should be a massive one, though, should it? No, Fred, it won't be a massive one.
We have the database optimizations to do after we brought down SED.
Yes.
Lots of data to delete.
Nice.
And indexes to rebuild and all sorts of funky stuff like that.
Deleting people. That'd be awesome.
Yes, we are. Well, not people, but stuff.
Records of people and data that concern people. Yeah. Thank you, Fred. I can see tonight's going remarkably well already. General news for this week. Another week, another thief. Just to let you guys know, one more bit the dust. We do not tolerate stealing here, and you guys can rest assured we're on top of things. So remember to lock your boxes, folks. And everybody who has, if anybody's sitting there with light fingers, we have a certain special set of skills, and we will find you, and Fred will ban you. See? And now for a public service announcement from Fred. He says, woof. We've got a universal rule here at WNG, speaking of rules, and the rule is simple. Rule number 1, do not be a dick. It's a simple rule. It encompasses many things. A lot of people have been asking for reinterpretation and things like that, but basically it speaks for itself. If you think what you're doing is against the rules or you have to ask, you're probably right. And that's about all I've got for general stuff this week, unless you got something else.
No, I don't have anything general. Oh, that's a bad gif. I have specific things, but not general things.
Okay. We'll move on then and we'll get rattling. So for Rust this week, it's White Day next Thursday. We'll be bringing back the Cataclysm map. Things to expect. Zombies, more zombies, and hordes of zombies. Also mad scientists with AK-47s and lots of explosives. So it's going to be cool. We've got the zombie map coming back again. Many changes going on, including roaming hordes, and the cities are a lot more fleshed out now. So if Rust is your thing, the new delivery of Cataclysm should be a lot better. We're going to start work really soon now on advertising the servers, working on a stable player base, and generally, getting the thing running and getting the servers jumping again. It's been quite a long time testing, so thank you again to those who've been playing, been testing, feeding back. And with the influx of new players, we will be getting them. It takes a little bit of time, but they will come. Please do report anything that's out of the ordinary. And let's get the player feedback rolling again. So, good stuff. Rust is on the way. Next week is going to be really cool.
I'm looking forward to it, actually, because some of the stuff that you've been doing with the zombie hordes looks really cool.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to testing out the zombie hordes.
I'm thinking it's my comment on it was I am legend in Rust.
Yes.
Deserted cities, well, maybe not deserted. Things to explore, POIs and monuments to capture, and lots of cool stuff to do. So I think just for those of you who haven't been here before, our take on Rust is not a PvP toxic mess. It's actually something a bit more interesting and a bit more entertaining.
Yes.
With our own twist on it. So if you do have a copy of Rust, feel free to install it and try out our Rust server after the wipe.
Yep, all good. So Thursday evening is probably the best time to get on. The developers usually put the patch out somewhere between 6:30 and 7 p.m. UK time, wherever that translates to in your time zone. So shortly between that, definitely by 7 p.m, the server should be up and all rolling, unless they push some sort of massive patch that breaks a load of things from then, maybe by 10 past. But yeah, try Rust. It's all going to be good, and the community is going to be rolling very soon. Moving on to Conan. Let's talk about what's been fed back with Conan recently. So, hearing a lot of talk about Sipter, possibilities of 2 map clusters, still getting some odd mod suggestions and things like that. The status of play with Conan right now is very happy with it, really happy with the mod set. A lot of work has gone into bring the new traders, Sipter bosses, recipes, along with all required materials, etc., to the Exiled Lands map. It's all there. Heavy's put a lot of work into it to make sure it's all really accessible. So I think for now, until something major changes, I think we're going to be sitting pretty now for a while. We've obviously had to put some cores away for Ascended Evolved, or Ark Ascended. What is it now? Ark Survival Ascended. That's the one. Ascended. Jesus Christ. Yeah, Ark Survival Ascended is coming, so we've had to put some processes away for that. Obviously, we don't want to take the Ark servers themselves down as well, so we don't really want to be putting any more maps up. And the general message is most, if not all, of the Sipter stuff now is available on the Exiled Lands. The only difference really with maps now is just terrain. So I think we're good with Conan. Just seen somebody mention 7 days as well, doing your 7 days to die in store. That's cool. This morning I updated the 7 days to die server to 8.20.7 beta 1. That's the latest serving from the devs. So please update your clients if you're going to log in. Final warning for people logging off at Horde Night and screwing over your fellow players. Please don't do it. I know some of you guys can't take the Horde at the moment, if you find yourself in a position where you know you can't do it, then please leave at least 6 to 8 hours for the guys who are going to log on to be able to get from their bases, gather weapons, get to their horde bases, and get the thing over for you. If you get caught in the middle and your base collapses or things don't go as planned, just run around the city screaming until morning. Just die. Yeah, sometimes it'll stop.
Yeah.
If it isn't stopping, just wait the time out, because it's really hurting the server when people do this. And it's not just one person, it's a few people. And I just wanted to explain why this is a problem. So we've got 3 or 4 really experienced players on there who've got no problem at all taking the horde out. But if they log in and they've got like half an hour prep time, which is like, 30 seconds real time, and then you have 30 seconds to get all your guns, bullets, food, buffs, bandages together, get over to your horde base, you get wiped too. They end up patching their base up time after time after time, getting really fed up with it. New players logging in on a horde night, because the server stops obviously when people log off, it doesn't just continue. So if you log off and nobody logs in, new players come, they see the blood moon, they get trounced, they leave. It hurts the community, it hurts the server, it hurts the fellow players who are actually clearing the blood moons for you. So please just see it through if you can, and just run around the city screaming or lie dead on the floor for a bit and wait for the time to pass and give them a chance at least. Even if you can't make it, log off very, very early and give them a chance, please, because it's really bad for the players who are playing. That
we'll
said,
just start.
Yeah, go on.
Okay.
No, sure.
I was going to say we'll start handing out temporary timed bans if people don't.
We're going to have to, because the reason the server tanked last time was exactly this. And over time, we'll just lose player after player after player until we see like 2 or 3 people playing. And then it's like, is it really worth hosting the server anymore? Which is exactly what happened last time. It's a shame because it's a great game. So yeah, just be more mindful of the horde night, please. And if you can't, play solo. It means you don't have to deal with other people. But if you're playing in a community and some of the players on that server are really, really helpful, please just take a minute to just think about what they've got to go through after you've logged off. It's not fun. Related to difficulty, last Wednesday I dropped difficulty to level 2. Most of you will have already seen this. We're playing to help with the later stage Demon Lords until such time Kane manages to get the latest patch out. He's got some more improved weaponry for dealing with Demon Lords. He's got some more medical systems he wants to bring out, and an improved medical system. So until that time, we've gone back to difficulty 2 just to make it doable, because I know some of the serious players on there are definitely having issues with the Demon Lords. So if they're having issues, I'm guessing everybody else is. So difficulty reduced until we get Kane's new patched. Also fixed an issue with block breaking being set too low. No idea why. The config file has got a little bit out of sketch. Kane also has his own config file, which may have something to do with it. So I synced all that up this morning, fixed that. So nobody should be having any problems breaking blocks anymore. It should be way, way easier.
Breaking blocks.
Breaking blocks, yes.
I like breaking blocks.
I believe the blocks ended up at something along the lines of 75% reinforced. So you're actually only doing 25% damage to blocks instead of 100%. That is now fixed and should not be happening again. Yes, exactly. Really looking forward to digging holes again. Yes, you will now be able to do that very, very efficiently. Other than that, very happy with the way things are going right now. Keep having fun. There has been quite a bit of feedback coming back, so that's all great. Don't have to moan about that. And if you've not already tried 7 days, give it a whirl. Lots and lots of helpful people on there at the moment. It's a good game.
Indeed, it is.
Yeah. Just waiting to see what Tula's got to say.
Don't let the title of the game put you off. It's not actually 7 days to die.
No.
Well, unless you're not ready for the horde night, in which case, yes, fall over and die, and then get back up when it's finished.
Yeah, we run a total overhaul, so we're running Darkness Falls 7 days to die. Lots more end game, lots more to do. So yeah, it's good stuff. Yes, time does vanish for 7 days, and many hours later, you look up to find the sun's gone, and the blood moon approaches, as they say.
Tula has made a good point there. If you are digging big holes in 7 days, please put some frame blocks around the sides of those holes to stop the whole thing collapsing.
Yes, please. If the map is going to get trashed, it's the faster we're going to have to wipe the map, and nobody wants the map wipe. So, yeah, please take care of the server, and the server will take care of you. At least we've killed the falling blocks now, so the lag shouldn't be as bad. But yes, please, still don't dig massive holes. And then on to Arc this week.
So the first point on our notes this week is now a moot point.
Okay, is that fixed?
The patch just dropped probably about half an hour ago.
Excellent. Okay. So hopefully, amending my statement, we were aware of some issues with the Arc Shop UI. And if you had any problems, then switching maps backwards and forwards apparently would go some way towards fixing that, but should by now already be fixed. Mod still doesn't work at the moment after the update. Okay, so I'll go back to my previous statement of we are aware of some issues with the Arc Shop UI, and the dev will be made aware very, very quickly.
What mod? Because
Jaggy says the mod still doesn't work at the moment after the update. Are we referring to the Arc Shop?
I can say that. Still having to transfer servers to reactivate. Have you tried killing yourself?
Harsh, but fair. So we're now actually sitting here waiting to try, seeing Shaggy has tried killing himself. Just did. How did that go? There you go. There's a really generous offer by Gunja there. If you don't want to kill yourself, I'll help you out.
Oh, exactly, Tam. Yes.
That is also true, yeah. If it doesn't work, did you try killing yourself? Have you reloaded? Have you typed reconnect in the console? Validate your files.
All of the above are solutions, and I'm sure there'll be another update to follow if it's a genuine problem. I have in the past, even before the last two updates to the Arc Shop, occasionally had it when the shop wouldn't download or connect for me, and you just got the grey icon in the corner instead of our logo. So it's difficult to figure out if it's the widespread problem that everybody was having or if it's just that particular scenario. So we'll keep an eye on it, and if it's causes more problems, then we'll start reporting them again.
Cool.
And then, to be honest, there's people with clusters out there that use it that have way more pressing issues than us. Like say on a PvP cluster, for example. When you need to buy all your shit to defend your base and suddenly the shop won't open.
That's just called being prepared,
they get
right?
quite vocal about this.
I bet they do.
Yeah, they do. It's been quite entertaining.
So, approaching the next point I have then with caution, because this may have also been fixed, we're also aware of a docks overspawn problem.
Yay, that has been fixed too.
Okay, Mike was aware of and says he's on it. So that's also cool now, right? Or as far as we know, yeah.
He's pushed us fix out. I need to re-enable the drones in the desert at maintenance tomorrow, and we'll see. But the biggest test for that is if you go to the snow biome on Ragnarok on docks, and if it's full of bears, it's not been fixed.
Okay. Bears in the woods? Bad. Excellent.
Yeah.
Moving on then. If we're doing well this week, we're approaching 20 minutes. At least one of the small raidable bases is ready to be populated with the loot.
Don't worry. It's not going to be 20 minutes.
Oh my god. Okay, so yeah.
Hey, we got some discussion points, and then we can take the super chats.
Okay, cool. Super chats away then shortly. So one of the small raidable bases is ready to be populated with loot and creatures now. The smaller ones initially are for the lower level players and will be making a debut first by the looks of it, just to the fact that we're still waiting on some coding for the larger bases. And honestly, some of the designs I've seen so far are very, very, very cool. Nugget is a sadistic bastard, and you're going to love them. They are absolutely top notch. So thank you, Nugget, for all the hard work there. It's really is truly cool. I'm not going to give any spoilers away.
It's good.
It is good.
I'll do a quick explanation. We have a plugin that runs server side that runs our Arc shop. And our Arc shop we refer to as the Emporium because we had a competition to name it a while back. On top of that, we have a mod called ArcShop UI, which presents the shop to you in a nice graphical user interface rather than having to type commands, and makes everything a lot easier to see. The mods that draws the shop for you had a couple of serious bugs in it. One of the bugs was it was replicating or sharing too much data between players. So whenever players came into close vicinity of each other, the entire Arc shop would be transmitted from one player to the other and back again, and around any other players that were in the area. So this would cause lag, this was called stuttering, this would cause hitching. Yep. This would generally cause problems.
It's called viral marketing, yeah.
Yeah, so that was fixed, but then that actually exposed another bug in the mod that has been there since it launched that nobody's ever noticed, because every time you ran near somebody else, your Arc shop replicated and loaded up properly. So the bug is your Arc shop's not loading properly, you're not getting the data coming down to your client. Yeah, but that's always been there.
He has fixed his issue, and at the same time, uncovered a major flaw.
Yeah.
Interesting. Exactly. To get around that, the commands, though, should still work, right? /buy space kit name and blah, 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 blah.
Buying the kits and buying the stuff from the shop will work. Opening the shop,
UI.
the full shop commands won't work.
Fair.
So, yes, if you knew what the commands were, you could buy stuff manually. But browsing what's on the shop is incredibly difficult without a UI. Because we got so much stuff on the shop, you only get like 20 or 30 things per page, and you have to go through each page, and nightmare.
Yes, indeed.
But anyways, I'm sure it will be fixed pretty soon. There's lots of vocal voices in the server hosting community that are outraged at this terrible disaster.
It's terrible. It is one of the bigger mods and the bigger plugins, though, so I'm guessing that will be pretty squashed pretty soon.
But at the same time, I'm glad he's updating it now, because it was actually causing us lag in large events.
Yeah.
So put 10 people in one place and suddenly they're all transmitting Arc shop data between each other and the server. Everything starts getting all jittery and jumpy.
Exactly.
So glad we figured that out. Anyways.
Okay, next. And then the bit you've all been waiting for, and the hot topic of discussion at the moment, Gaia 2. Anyone heard of Gaia 2? Anyone waiting for Gaia 2? Vent now in the old chat. There you go. I knew they were there. So, the state of Gaia 2, just so we can address what's been going on, because a lot of people have been asking what's going on with Gaia 2. So, obviously, as we discussed last week, cores are reserved at the moment because we have to be able to move forward to accommodate ASA and keeping Arc going, etc., etc., etc. So we needed to bring SED down, and then we're replacing SED with Gaia. So state of at the moment is the server is up. SED being the old centered docs server, which has now gone and been replaced. So the Gaia server is up. The plugins and the mod list are now, as far as we're aware, pretty in a good place, and I would dare to say pretty much final. And you can view the mod list, luckily. Watch this. Boom! Oh, you beat me. I was prepared as well. Damn it.
Oh, I'll delete mine. There we go.
So there's the mod list. That's what's going on Gaia. It is passworded at the moment. No, I am not going to tell you what the password is just yet. We need to do a little bit more work on it before we can open it up, but things are well underway now. There's some things that need balancing around XP tuning and things like that, and engrams and bits and bobsies. But mainly we are there. So I kind of don't want to reveal a date just yet because honestly we don't know. But we're well on the way. No reason shinies wouldn't work on Gaia stuff.
If you look at the mod list, you will see that Shiny Dinos is in the mod list.
Yeah.
So what we've got left to do on the server is we need to tweak the player experience curve because Gaia 2 is balanced around the first 120 levels. All your stuff you get in the first 120 levels. So we need to sort the XP curve out. We need to go through and tweak a few of the engrams, which ones are available, which ones are not. Then we've also got what else? There was a third thing, and it's just gone out of my head. Finished the mod list. We've got the XP curve for the players. That needs totally tweaking.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I've totally forgotten now. Okay. Oh, harvesting. Yes, harvesting rates need tweaking. We think we've got it tweaked, but we may need to lower them a little bit. Shock horror, I know. But other than that, and we've also got to check the loot tables work properly with Gaia 2 beacons.
Yeah. There's a little bit to do, but it's getting there.
Yeah.
And it'll be worth the wait.
No, they won't unbalance the mod. Shiny dinos are not... If they work properly with the Gaia dinos, they're not overpowered. It adds colour, yes. It adds a bit of variation. But at the end of the day, the shiny stuff is buffs and colouring. We'll try it and we'll see what happens.
Yeah. I don't think there's anything in there that's majorly unbalanced. Most of the ones that were silly stupid we have actually got disabled already. I think that was the TARDIS and the Luna, was it?
Something like that, yeah. I'd have to double check.
So, and I've been waiting to do this a lot. What have they done? Here we go. Gaia 2, really, really soon. No, Discord soundboard! Yay!
Oh, don't make me do that. So on the topic of other things, arc-wise, because that hits the end of your notes, I believe.
It does, yes. Record time today.
Yeah, indeed. You may notice in the Gaia 2 mod list, there is a mod called Fista's All Fog Remover.
Hang on.
I know.
Get the emotes in now. It's called Fista's Fog Remover. Okay, go Abe. We'll carry on. Yeah, there we go. Thank you. One person, seriously.
Dear. Anyway.
Okay.
What this does is it allows you as a tribe to choose whether or not you want to remove a couple of fog effects that appear on the maps that you happen to be currently playing on. Particular problem on Lost Island. Some people think Ragnarok, some people think the island. But you build a structure in your base and as long as somebody's been near the structure recently, fog will be disabled for you on that map. And from what I was reading, it's configurable by tribe.
Awesome.
Exciting. So that particular mod is 8 megabytes. Won't add anything particularly to the load time. Just wanted to run it by the community and make sure nobody is aware of any reason why we would not want to put that on our cluster as well. So this is in-game functionality to remove the fog. Not the weather effects, just the fog. We would do it through the config of the Arc server, but from what I've read, and tried, it doesn't always work. The other thing that we were looking at as well, we've had a lot of conversations over the months about economy, trading, and all sorts of stuff like that. So while we were preparing the mods for Gaia, we came across something. And it is called Kanga Economy. It lets you set up a shop counter in your base, or they can be set up at trading posts by the admins. The shop counter, you can then either put a cash register in it, a sales register, or you can put a lease sign in it. So you can lease the shop counter to other people and they pay for that lease, or you can put sales tickets in it and sell your own stuff in there. People then come along and pay with currency, and then the idea behind that is you can convert your currency to Fed shards. So I will put some information into the chat, and you can all go and investigate it and see what you think. But I'm feeling it's a very good way to allow in-game trading with very little risk to the player. I've had a little play with it. It works quite well. There's a few quirks to it, which I'm sure as people use it, they'll... yes and no. It's all configurable. So yes, you can get some coins for leveling up. Yes, you can get some coins for killing dinos, but we already have our own currency within the server.
Yes.
And that's Fed shards. So yes, you could sell stuff. You could buy gold from the shop using your Fed shards, which you could then spend in people's shops. You could then convert that gold back into Fed shards. So we wouldn't provide a source in game for the gold in the economy mod, because you've already got that through your Fed shards. You can get that from killing bosses, you can get that from voting, you can get it from supply crates, you can get it from drops and stuff like that. But it will give you a way to sell stuff without being online. You just stock up your shop, put an advert in the auction channel, say my shop's open, here are the coordinates, and people can come along. Or you could set up a teleporter there, or you could lease one of the shop stalls in the trading post. And it may be that we then decide, well, actually, rather than everybody setting up individual shops all over the place, we just pile in a whole bunch of shop counters into the trading post and use it as a trading post.
I like that idea.
People lease the shop counter, and then they can trade at the trading post. Yes, it would be a one-to-one conversion on gold to Fed shards. That's the easiest way of doing it. Yes, it would be rebuilding time.
Uh-oh. Yeah, I kind of like the vending machines from 7 Days to Die or Rust, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
You stock them, people buy them, you come back later and collect your cash.
Uh-huh. I believe as well you can craft a sales ledger in the cash register, and then you can take that sales ledger with you, and it's permanently linked to that cash register, so you can see your sales as they come in without having to keep visiting.
And that's freaking cool.
Yeah.
But it would also, doing the trading post would bring community together and get people a bit more. Yeah, I like that. That's cool.
You can also leave notes for the seller if you want them to sell something they haven't necessarily got in stock. So if you want to say, oh, actually, I'm looking for a 150 Rex that's got like 30 points in this, you could leave that note on the seller's shop counter, and they could pick it up the next time they visit and say, okay, yeah, no problem, put that up for sale. So yeah, there's a lot going on there. In terms of mod size, I think it's fairly small, to be honest. It's 48 megabytes, which isn't an awful lot. But I would say the value added by this is significantly more, is worth significantly more to the community than kind of like the downsides. And then the last thing. No, there is nothing else actually, I don't think. Oh, yes, I saw somebody in chat asking about Vivarium's resource production, salt terminals and stuff. So when Vivariums first came around, they were a good way to slap in a load of dinos and generate some eggs, which you could then use for kibble and stuff like that. They weren't actually a resource income. That was like gachas and stuff like that. Their passive resource generation didn't exist. So it's mainly for eggs, owl pellets, and poop. And then that goes into the aggregator, and then that goes out to all your crop plots and stuff like that. Vivariums have a bonus to egg production, unfertilized eggs. So those are the things you want to use if you want to produce unfertilized eggs. They require, I think they require some power, but other than that, that's it. They are better than soul terminals in terms of egg production. Obviously, they produce owl pellets and poop, so you can then use them to feed your gachas.
Yeah.
Soul terminals, they produce resources passively, but they require fed shards to power them. And they will also produce eggs as well, but not at the same rate as a vivarium. So that clears up why we have both things in game.
Yep. Pro tip number 2, for those who don't know, Maywings are an excellent source of eggs because they lay all the different sizes of eggs, so you can make all the different kinds of kibble from one dino.
Not sure what rate they produce them at, but it may turn out that we need to boost the vivarium. I want to encourage people to stock them up with dinos so that they can keep them off the map. So the cool thing about the vivarium is, yeah, you just stuff a vivarium full of UTs and you can make any kibble you want. Well, you make the best kibble, and that works on everything. Personally, I disagreed with the kibble changes they made ages ago, but hey, they dumbed the game down. Right, do we have any other questions before we call this incredibly succinct roundtable to a close?
Record-breaking roundtable this week.
Bonus XP isn't that higher in a Viv over a Soul Ball. No, Gaia isn't open, and I'm not sure I understand. You mean dinos growing in? Not sure I understand the bonus XP thing. Vivariums don't have anything to do with XP, as far as I'm aware. Unless I'm missing something. Oh, they get XP while inside. Well, the Soul Ball goes in the Vivarium, Gunji. So it doesn't make any difference whether it's in a Soul Terminal or a Vivarium. Dinos just get passive XP in a Soul Ball. And free enabled healing as well. Either way. No, they don't. Any more?
Andy is definitely alive, by the way, for those asking. I talked to her yesterday. I think she's still addicted to Vampire Survivors, to be fair.
She is totally addicted to Vampire Survivors.
Andy has all of the things.
I must say, Vampire Survivors is a great game. You've got half an hour before work, boom, quick run through Vampire Survivors. Theo has a question. Oh, actually, yes, there is something we were talking about, and I'm not sure if Theo wants me to bring it up. I was messing with the dev kit earlier while I had a bit of free time. Well, not free time. I was actually, oh shit, I hope my boss doesn't see this. I was in some meetings earlier, so I thought I'd log into the dev kit and try and play with some things. I figured out that, yes, I can make dinos breedable without remapping the dino to another dino so that you lose it if anything went wrong. But then kind of couldn't decide if we actually wanted to do it, in particular relating to Fenrir. So Fenrir is a reward you get for killing. Oh, I can't pronounce the bloody name. Let's call it the big doggy at the end of Fjordjaw. And it's fairly unique. It's just a trophy, yeah. Fenrir sulfur. Sulfur?
Yes, that's the one.
Fenrir sulfur. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. So it's a trophy dino. You get it in a cryopod and you pop your dino out, and yeah, you've got a doggy that has some cool passive 80 passive armor and has some cool effects and buffs other nearby doggies by 15% or something. Anyway, it's pretty cool. Now, some of the more dedicated players on the cluster have put a lot of time and effort into leveling or maxing out the levels to 255 on stamina, health, and hit points on their Fenrir. And you may ask, how the hell do you do that if you can't breed it? And you can only level it 75 levels. Well, we have custom consumables that drop on our events server that allow you to level individual stats in a dino. You can feed them to a dino and you get an extra stat. So some players have gone on and killed our world bosses so many times they've managed to level up their Fenrir to something absolutely amazing that nobody else has. So if you see a level like 600 Fenrir running around, then you know how they've done it. They are epic. So do we want to make Fenrirs breedable is the question. And if we do, how do we do it in such a way that it doesn't devalue all the hard work that our end game players have put in? That's the question.
Buffing the boss doesn't fix the problem, though, that it undervalues everything being put in.
The boss is
And
buffed
the
already.
boss is already buffed, yes.
No, there isn't. That would be interesting. 100 cap on a bred Fenrir. Now you say that, actually, there may be a way to limit the max number of levels, but only ones that are put in by
the
players. There might be a way. Might be a way through using what's it called? Creatures Plus. I was looking at this earlier and I'll have a look. That would be really cool. Yeah. So you can't go over 100 on a stat on a Fenrir if you're breeding. Yeah, the problem is Theo is one of our players that has maxed out his Fenrir. So what you'd have to do if that was possible to make it unique, we'd have to like summon in a wild Fenrir and keep zapping it till we got the taser, and then you'd have to extract it with a prod and then hand over the taser thing. So, meh. I don't know. But either way, we have a decision to make as a community how we implement that, if we do at all. I'm actually, the more I think about it, I just leave it as it is, because yes, people hacked their trophy for killing Fenris Alpha, and then you've also got the show-off value for the people who have gone beyond that and now have a dog that can munch bosses.
There has to be something special left to play for.
Yeah, completely.
And that's why I'm so vehemently against it. I believe in games are getting way too easy. Stuff is pretty much handed out on a plate now, and there has to be that holy grail for those who enjoy playing that way to go and get something special rather than have it taken away later.
Are all bosses possible solo? All of the bosses in the game are, yes. But the world bosses that we have on our event server, probably not. No problem, Genji. Have fun. Enjoy your dinner. The whole point of our event server, the current world bosses on the event server, is they are intended for endgame players who have some seriously badass dinos and tactics. However, saying that, the raidable bases will be geared for all levels. There'll be varying levels of difficulty for those, aimed at like different tiers of players. But I will say now, if you're like a level 200 player and you're geared up to the eyeballs and you go and do one of the lower tier raidable bases, it's not going to be valuable for you to do that, other than to say, yes, I've just done it once and, you know, killed it. So the rewards will be appropriate for the level that the raidable base is designed for. What's considered bad dinos for World Boss Event server? A team of, well, one domination Rex per player, preferably one that's been leveled up to its max and has, because you want to be riding those bad boys to get the most out of them. And then you're probably looking at, yeah, Max Fenris. Yes, probably a bit higher than level 155, Shaggy. Theo can give you some insight into that. Yeah, you don't need a dummy Rex for the event server, but it's a big help if you're riding one.
All the initial runs that were done, first beatings of bosses, were not done with dummies.
No.
They've been done with allos.
Yeah.
Rexes,
So,
crabs, yeah.
Well, it's a toss-up between finishing off the Gaia setup or doing the loot tables and dino placements for the first raidable base. We have on the event server, we do have the Savage Acro. There's two versions of it, level 70. What was the other one? 140?
Yeah.
They're locked to level 70 players or above and level 140 and above. Difficulty difference is quite significant, but the higher level Savage Acro drops zombie hearts and zombie brains, which are the +1 to hit points and melee damage that can be used on any dino. Anything else? Oh, while we're here, we have 2 posts that are up on the website at the moment. Our plans for Ark Survival Ascended, and we also have everything we know about Ark Survival Ascended. Now, this is an amalgamation of all the sources of information that we've managed to come across. So it's worth having a look if you don't mind. It's got release schedules, game enhancements, gameplay changes, game engine updates, and what the plans for the modding side of things are. As we get more info, as things evolve, we will update that post as well. So always worth keeping an eye on it. It's got a last updated date at the bottom. So the last update I put in there was on the 20th.
Ah, yeah, suggestions.
You do?
No, suggestions. We keep saying we were going to run through suggestions every week. Hope we get anything outstanding or.
No, there is. Well, last week we had a few issues with our suggestions bot. They've been resolved. We haven't had anything new come in since last week, but I've updated the status of all the suggestions that we've currently got running in the suggestions channel. And we are good, I believe.
I think that's a little bit early to tell their Lego head.
Who knows? No idea. Depends what level of customization we have when it launches. I mean, what my thoughts on Arc Extended is we need to slow it down a little bit. We don't want to make it a massively awful grind like Official is in terms of like growing dinos and taming and stuff like that. And where you have to spend like a whole day just taming a giga. But at the same time, I have my strong feeling for our current cluster is the gather rates are too high. It's too easy to get resources.
Yeah.
It's just like, smack a tree and you've built a base type approach is just not really a survival game. So I think we'll see how it goes. But with Ark Ascended, we're going to launch the island, we're going to launch Scorched Earth. And personally, I want the new Ark feel back, where I've landed on a beach. I've got no fucking clue what's going on, and I just go wandering off 10 feet, and a raptor pounces out of the bush and chases me down the beach type approach. But yeah, I think our current Ark cluster though is set up because everybody's played Ark. They don't want to have to go through the pain all over again just to get established. But I feel Ascended will feel like a whole new game. Yeah, exactly. Taming rates. I think we're taming rates and breeding rates and stuff like that. I think without the mods, we're pretty spot on.
Yeah.
It's resource production, I think, is the biggest problem.
I would agree with that.
I would also be tempted to say shoot all catchers on site.
I would agree with that too.
Passive resource generation. What the fuck's that about? That kind of thing. It's just like, it just feels pointless. part of the reason why I don't play as much Ark as I used to. But we'll see how that goes. Polymer.
How can you have
get.
problems with Polymer?
It's really. Yeah, but no, it's not a problem right now. Well, I don't know. We put the rates on Gaia at 2.5, or did we say 2?
2.
I think it was 2, wasn't it?
It was 2.
And
yeah.
I spent 10 minutes on a beach, and I've got more resources than I can ever use to build my base as quickly as I can. I spent the entire day playing on Gaia the other day just to test out the balance of some of the mods, and it was just like, not at launch, Simon, but it will be. That article I posted has the release schedule for the maps and stuff like that. They'll be released over the span of, probably the same order that they released them in when they did the first time round. But yeah, with Polymer, what is it? Mantises and something else, and
Mantises, whales on the beach, the plants on what's it? Genesis 2 have got them, I think.
Yeah, but
penguins.
You've got to think. You got to think you're just playing on the island at Scorched Earth to begin with.
Polymer on the island.
Yeah, but that's the whole point. It's a challenge to get some resources. Some resources are highly sought after. If somebody wants to spend an entire day making polymer or finding organic polymer, then you're going to have to trade with them.
And it creates that very market that people are so sorely lacking.
I don't think there's a single resource that is difficult to get on our current cluster, and that just creates, it doesn't drive need, it doesn't drive desire, if you know what I mean. It doesn't give you something to work towards. Yeah, but then you've got to prioritize what you want. You've got enough resources to build X, but not X and Y. So what's more valuable to you? So you go after X, and then you have a sense of achievement for having got X and nobody else has it. And then you can move on to Y. Ammonite bile, on our current cluster, not difficult at all. But yes, you're right. On a new server, it might be, especially when you've only got the island and Scorched Earth available to you. But then that's where our tweaking comes into play. So if we look at this from a sensible point of view, do we want people building shitloads of boxes, or do we want them storing stuff in very efficient, dedicated storage? So yeah, that's it. There is no reason to take gathering dinos right now. It's just, they're pointless. Quite seriously pointless. Yeah, but then again, Kara, it's like we've got years of playing and running a cluster, and we can immediately see these issues coming down the line. If you want to play with a Strider, get on our old Ark cluster. Knock yourself out, have a base in 5 minutes and tech in 2 weeks. If you actually want to play a survival game with dinosaurs, jump on ASA. It looks amazing, and have a good time. And challenge yourself to actually play the story, complete the game. I think, well, I understand why, because exactly, people will hate on your ideas. And you probably don't want the hassle of that. But what I would have to say to that is, people can't have a constructive conversation in our feedback channel, then I will block them from the feedback channel, and they won't be able to hate on ideas, and they won't get any input.
Yeah, The whole point of the feedback is to discuss, not hate. If you've got nothing constructive to say, don't be there.
Yeah, and our feedback channel does have a post pinned to it that says if you can't be constructive, then I'm sorry, you're gone from that feedback channel. We have a feedback channel for most games that we host, and it's a place where we want to take people's suggestions, discuss changes and other stuff that happens on our servers, and just generally bounce them around the community. Not everybody has access to the feedback channels because, quite frankly, we found that if you let everybody in there from the get-go, you get somebody that's been on the cluster 5 minutes, they can't figure out how to pick up a rock off the floor, and their feedback is, can I have 3 rocks? It's kind of a complete waste of time. So we limit it to people who have participated and have talked on Discord. You level up as you talk, so you get access. But at the same point, it's yeah. Oh, don't get me started on that. We had a player that came to the server once. It's quite a funny story. This is before we enabled gamma adjustment because we thought it's a survival game. Night time is dangerous, so build a torch. Anyway, he came to the server and he goes, "It's really dark. I can't see. This is a shit server." And we're like, "Is it nighttime?" He's like, "Yeah." "Are you in a forest?" He's like, "Yeah." "Have you got a torch?" "No." "Fuck off then." New people are restricted to push to talk simply because new people join the server, they jump on comms and they start screaming down the mic, and their baby in the background is screaming and their dog is barking and they're playing loud metal music constantly, and yeah, really annoying. So if you want a channel where push to talk is not a requirement and everybody can chat, you have the lobby. The lobby is a voice channel that has no restrictions on it. So if you're happy to put up with the risk of just some rando dropping in and you're listening to his whole family's conversation in the background while he's playing and also eating and everything is coming down his mic, knock yourselves out. But yeah, reasons for everything, but all based on past experience of people using and abusing Discord. I think we've just hit the hour, 5 past. So, what? One more question, and then we call it an evening. Oh, damn it! There was something really, really important. Oh, why is Nani?
Because.
Nani, do you want to explain why it's Nani?
Because. Yeah.
Banana. The story behind the banana.
There is no story behind the banana.
Oh, okay.
There's no interesting backstory.
I didn't say it was interesting. I think my character's name came about because somebody gave me a character with that name.
Dave.
They did give it to me.
Did they? Well, yeah, okay, fair. Yeah, okay.
Otherwise, how did I get it?
Yeah, fair. Yeah, I'll give you that. That's true. Nobody ever does ask how is Nani. Apart from Tula. Yeah. Nani's okay. Yeah. Thinking I could have another coffee, that sort of thing. Bit more Subnautica.
I did remember, actually. I fixed the decay timer checker on the website.
Yes. Yes.
So on our website, for the uninitiated, we have a page called Decay Timers. You can search by tribe ID and tribe name, and it will tell you when that tribe on that map is going to decay. The time until decay is formatting correctly now, so it shows days, hours, minutes, and seconds. Shows the last login for that tribe, so that's the last person that logged into that tribe on that map. If you notice that the difference between last login and decay time is less than 2 days, and the base is due to decay in a few hours, that's because when a tribe empties, it auto decays in 2 days. So if you leave your tribe, there's no one in it, you can't get back in it, and it goes boom. Oh, my kitty's just come to play. So time to go.
By new Faz, are you referring to Demonologist, Becky? Or is there actually a new Faz that I've missed? Ah, okay. Yeah, it is pretty good.
Hello.
I was playing the hospital last night and just looking out. You've seen at the beginning of the hospital, you turn around, you've got that pathway in the woods on either side and everything. And I sat there staring away into the woods last night. Bear in mind, the Demonologist is in UE5. And just thinking, can you just picture a Rex running through those trees? It's going to be sick. It's going to be really, really good.
Oh, dear.
They've changed the way
Strange
dots work.
happens. It's
Ooh.
the cat on the keyboard.
All right, do tell. What's the dots update? In like a quick TLDR one sentence type thing.
Well, that's the thing. While you're typing that, Raptor AI is going to be like, now we can enable pouncing raptors, but everybody cries because the way to deal with a dino that pounces on you is to stab it with a pike. If you don't carry a pike, the raptor's going to kill you, which I personally think is fair enough. It's a giant turkey with huge, like, 4-inch claws.
Yeah.
But hey.
Can you imagine the ones in the film? Like, if they didn't jump? How dull a film would that have been?
Yeah.
That's just the limitations of UE4, that is, with the pouncing.
Yeah, exactly.
All going to be fixed in UE5. Not my words.
Raptor has a grappling hook. It pounces and fires. So if it misses you, the hook reels it in and then it grabs your face.
It's going to be the greatest thing ever, take my word for it.
Yeah, basically, it looks at you and it goes, right, I can hit that target, and pounces. So no matter where you move, it's going to land on you. So once it's pounced, you that's it. You're going to get caught. Doesn't matter if you dodge behind a tree or anything, it's still going to grab you.
What bosses are we talking about hoarding? What do you mean? Is there a way to limit people from hoarding bosses for hours? You mean the event server?
Have I missed a comment?
Yeah.
Have I
People
missed
sitting
a
at
comment?
terminals doing boss runs for hours on the island. No, there isn't. But you could always go to another island and run bosses there.
Or another terminal. But if they keep doing the boss runs for hours,
4 hours?
wow.
That's some serious farming, though, just to get the attributes and all that sort of stuff to do that for 4 hours. The only place you can really do that is where the consumables don't consume, which would be the tech cave.
Yeah.
That's some serious effort.
And given that we've blocked the transfer of artifacts from CI and Valguero,
Wow.
which were the two main places where you could just hoover them up, they must have actually
Stockpiled,
done
I guess.
something.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like, there's not much you can do about that. I mean, other than extend the cooldown between boss runs, then that would deter people from sitting there because they'd be wasting their time. So, like on Extinction, for example, the cooldown on summoning the Titans was like what, 4 hours, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We lowered it significantly, but yeah, it's maybe something we could do. I've never really looked into it. It's a trade-off between fixed arenas. Yeah, I think we lowered it to like 2 hours from 6 or something like that.
Sounds about right.
I can't remember. I put it into I changed it in a cluster mod. I can't remember what I changed it to now. It was so long ago. Oh, there we go.
They're talking about somebody was sitting for 4 hours on Red Auburn Island running bosses continuously.
Yeah, but the arena gets locked, doesn't it? You can't.
Yeah, you can't have more than one
only...
of a boss in the same place at the same time.
You'd have to sit there at 10 minute. No, what I was thinking was increase the cooldown to deter people from camping the bosses. You wouldn't sit there for an hour twiddling your thumbs, would you? Yeah, or just ask who it was and but it's probably you know, how sorry, cat fur in my yeah, Titan is 2 hours. We lowered it down from 6, I think. That took some dicking around. It's not just a straight config change. Right. Anyways, let's shall we wrap up there? Good, the one question plus 10.
Yes, no problem there. Right, good night then, guys. We have yet again been the Wicked Ninjas, and you have, as always, been awesome. Have a great rest of your Tuesday night. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. I'm going to remember whatever it was I was thinking about, like, as soon as we get off